So we take that breath, inhaling fully, letting it expand inside ourselves. Exhaling fully, allowing the time between the inhale and the exhale to cleanse, to relax, to release. Confident that we are breathing the breath of God. Confident that we are in the very presence of God in every moment. As Mike shared last week, we know that everything in our life begins with a thought. And as we move into this quiet time together, into this movement from the outside to that sacred space within, we clear our minds. We allow the activity of thought to be divinely guided. We allow the activity of thought to relax, to allow and just to flow. If thoughts come during our quiet time, we allow them. And more importantly, we don't grab onto them. We just let them continue flowing like ripples in a pond from center to circumference. We don't attach to anything in this time. We just know that we are in the flow of God. We allow that flow to move unimpeded, saying bless you to sneezes and thoughts, saying bless you to impulses, to the guidance that comes our way. Bless you. Bless you for moving in and through me. Bless you for moving awareness from thought to deed, from intention to action. Divinely guided and inspired to make these moves from times such as this, where we pause, where we take time out to move from movement and activity and productive movements and actions to sacred, productive activity within the mind and heart of God. Again, if thoughts come now, we just let them move. We allow them to be what they are. We don't need to do anything about or with them other than acknowledge and say, bless you. Bless you for being my teacher. Bless you for being my guidance. Bless you for moving me through life in sacred symmetry. And then we allow the music to continue for just a moment, letting those notes continue that flow, moving not necessarily into the silence in this room, but into silence within and allowing for just a moment, guided by the notes. The sounds flow, the thoughts flow, the ideas grow in this sacred, silent opportunity for spaciousness. We hold loosely, we allow, we flex and we say, bless you. Bless you, life, for living through me. And so it is. And we thank God and say, amen. So, something I take note of is that Mike always starts his Sunday talks with a joke. Right? I'm terrible at jokes. Do not retain them. So I looked up jokes. I won't torture you long, just one. So how do you make holy water? Now in Unity, we might not know this because we don't generally do all those types of sacraments in Unity, but you know, if you ever wonder, how do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. See, I'm working on it, Mike. I'm working on it. Mike teaches me so much in all of our life together as friends and peers and coworkers and all sorts of things, and I just love that. I love that you start with a joke every time. I'm just not really good at them, so. So, this Sunday we're going to talk about when you're thank empty. We talk a lot in November especially about when you're thankful, being thankful, oh so thankful for everything. What about when you're thank empty? And you're not feeling like you can find the authentic and genuine gratitude that something else to be grateful for will grow from. So I have a great suggestion for you if you ever get the chance. Just attend a youth rally for Unity. It's amazing. I always tell everybody that if you have any worry that there are not the most amazing youth to take our forward generations forward, just go hang out with some Unity youth, and you will find that your faith in humanity is restored, that you find that there's just such brilliance. I had to go to a youth rally or a youth event before my ordination this coming June as one of our requirements. And in our cohort of 16 people, there are about 3 or 4 of us that have worked with youth regularly. Now, I grew up in Unity. I came up through these youth retreats and rallies and things. I attended them as a teen and a preteen. Then I became a sponsor when I was older. I attended them as a sponsor. This is the first time that I was the clergy in the room. And it was a fascinating dynamic, and Dave stepping up and reigniting our youth has been such a stellar gift. And Dave was a Regi for his region, which means he was one of those youth that put these events together when he was that age. So you've got 2 people that grew up in this dynamic, returning to this dynamic after it lost a little bit of its vim and vigor during COVID. Because during COVID, they couldn't have any of these events in person, so that the culture could carry on. Now, you're talking about these events that are youth-led, adult-facilitated. So we show up in the room keeping sacred safety, but we're not responsible for the events that are happening or what's going on. We are one of the youth in the room when these things are happening, and we are youth-led. There are youth leaders that step up to lead family groups and things like that. And so it was a fascinating time to be able to come back. When they were gone because of COVID, there are certain things that they do. They do these joy songs that are created so that you might feel just a little silly singing a sing-songy song, but we all do it together, so we all look silly together, and it helps break the ice. It helps break down these barriers and walls that we tend to put up and move away from our natural expression. And so we do these joy songs. Well, Dave and I have found out that a few of them have kind of lost their vim and vigor with people not to continue the culture through COVID. So we got to be the loud voices in the room, making sure that the kids knew the tunes to things and the spirit in which they were doing. It's a fabulous vigoration. That's not really the way you use that word, but it works for me. So, and that weekend for me, and to get to spend the almost 6-hour car ride each way, sitting and chatting with Dave, because see, when we were youth going to these events in 6-hour car rides, there weren't cell phones. And we sang songs and played license plate games and had deep, intense discussions. And now it's the quietest ride of your life. They're just quietly in their phones with their headphones on, doing the things that the teens do now. So it's this whole different thing. So Dave and I got to sit and talk and think and move about what we could be doing here. And we will be holding a youth event. We arrived there to find that one of the zone leaders is planning an event here in February. And that was news to us when we arrived, but we're really happy about it, and we're glad to take part in it and give the space for it. You guys may have noticed in our restrooms there are showers. That's because when Andy and the crew divined this space and designed this space, there was thought given to what if we had a group of youth here that needed to shower? What if we had events happening here? So there's been the seeds planted for things like this here, and there's been a history of them. Tracy knows there's been a history, and Tina knows, and Dave knows of a lot of youth involvement here at Unity of Sebring, and I'm so grateful that Dave has breathed life back into that. Can we? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And we just grow from here. We just grow from here. But we have this thing I just wanted to share with you guys. So we all wear our name tags, and we have our schedules with, you got to be timely. And you may wonder what these things are hanging off of this. One of the beauties of a Unity Youth event is that one of the last things that we do as we're leaving is you get these little pieces of yarn. We call them warm fuzzies. And then you make your way around to anyone that you'd like to in the group, and you have a pile of fuzzies and they have a pile of fuzzies, and you will tie a fuzzy on. This is, when I was a kid, times have changed. When I was a kid, you would find these things on bra straps, you would find them on shoelaces, inside your shoes, on belt loops, you would find them all over yourself, in your hair, for days. Like you would still be finding these warm fuzzies on different things of clothing. Now we get a little more appropriate, and it's on the lanyard, okay? So, and on your glasses and hats, and I still have things from when I was a kid that have warm fuzzies all over them. But you find anyone that you would like to greet or say goodbye to, you tie on a fuzzy, you give them a hug, and sometimes you'll give them a statement. Titan, you all know Krista and Christopher and Casey and their younger brother Titan went to this rally with us. He doesn't necessarily come on Sunday mornings, but he comes to the meetings on Tuesdays. And Dave and I got to see Titan doing some of these warm fuzzies, and it was his very first Unity Youth event. And he walked around to every single person that he gave a fuzzy and said something very specific about that person and why he was so glad to have met them. It was beautiful. It was just so beautiful to see him not just show up and take part, but to dive right in with both feet to being open and receptive and grateful and a part of the energy of the wonder that these events can create. If you can't go to a youth retreat because maybe they're not happening all the time, or maybe you don't necessarily see one, it falls to us to look into our life, to look around us for things that fill the tank, for things that we can authentically and truly say, I'm grateful for this. And when we're feeling thank empty, that can be a little bit of a job, but I would encourage you to look around. If it's even the tiniest little thing, look around and start to fill your tank with the things that you can authentically say, I'm grateful for this. It's really, really important to be authentic with that statement. It changes the vibration of the day. You know, I saw something this past week, someone saying, you know, if you can't find a smile in someone else, give one of yours away. And it's so true, right? We can find people scowling at things. And I love going to the grocery store because I get all up in people. I see Barbara grinning and nodding at me. I know Barbara would be the same way. And we, you know, go up and find something cool to say to someone. I love that shirt. Oh my gosh, I love those kinds of crackers. They are awesome, aren't they? This week, a lady and I got into a intensely enthusiastic discussion in Winn-Dixie about how amazing Stacy's pita chips are, which are buy one, get one free at Winn-Dixie this week, probably until Wednesday. And she couldn't find the end cap, and I heard her asking people. She's like, well, they've got them on sale. They have to be here somewhere, and her husband's trying to calm her down, and, you know, the whole bit. And they're going back and forth, and finally she asked somebody, there's the concept. If you're a little lost, ask for directions. And sometimes that direction is, how do I find something that grounds me, or that makes me feel rooted, or that makes me feel a part of a group? We have so many activities here at Unity of Sebring that are specifically designed to give us opportunities for fellowship and for feeling that love and feeling a part of the group and filling our tank with thanks, right? It's easy for us to do that. This past Saturday, well, yesterday, Tina and I were joking because we were here most of yesterday, and then we came this morning, and I was like, wow, haven't seen you in ages, you know. but Barb and company did a card-making workshop here yesterday that was absolutely awesome. And they're going to do another one, and for this one, I didn't give them a sign-up sheet. And that was a remiss on my part. The next one is Friday, November 21st at 2:00 p.m. You can make handmade cards. They're beautiful. The parchment and everything that they have for you to use to make these things is great. And it's always an event that's filled with so many wonderful things and opportunities to create bonds and create fellowship, and it's an amazing time. So if you want to go, we will probably put this back on the information station, but for right now, I'm going to put it up here up front so that if you would like to sign up for that, you just sign up on the sign-in sheet. And one more thing while I'm at it, Jim and Paul would really love to do some holiday movies here, and I didn't mean to be an advertisement for part of the service this morning. And while you're at Unity, you too can take part in different really cool things. But there's one more thing. We've had a couple people talking about wanting to do holiday movies this Christmas or this Christmas season. So Paul has a DVD player and some DVDs, and he was thinking that a really great time to do that would be after Potluck Sunday, the first Sunday of December, to kind of set things off. So there's a few movies listed. If you think you'll come and stay after that potluck and take part in our fellowship time, and we'll maybe do some popcorn and things like that, vote for your favorite movie, and the one with the most votes is the one that we'll show. So if you would like to join us on that Sunday, please do that. So these are some opportunities to fill your tank. Sometimes we need it, especially during the holidays. You know, we can get whipped up in the frenzy of too much to do, so much to have to get, money to have to spend that maybe we have and maybe we don't. What about this year, stepping out of some of those expectations that are put upon us and move from the inside out for what we might create from our gratitude as far as gifts? Can you paint? Can you write? Can you make a song? Is there an experience you could create? Is there something to do and be instead of something to buy this holiday season that might make the holidays even richer for you? Think about it and think about the possibility of doing that. I don't know about you guys, but once I decided, there's always one Christmas gift that I end up getting, and sometimes it's a thing, an experience rather, instead of a thing. As soon as I land on that one gift that I can't wait to give somebody, the whole season just lights up for me. You know, it's that one gesture that I can make, that one thing that I can do. We're going to move into something. Here we go. The advertisements continue this morning. I will probably, we will reiterate this during the announcement time today. But during this past Wednesday's meditation, Amy came to meditation and gave us an opportunity as a congregation to step up in service in something that I think is going to be really awesome and a really cool way for us to truly help practically help some people. There are a lot of unhoused people in our area that stay in kind of encampments out of the eyesight of people around here. There are certain people who know where those encampments are and kind of protect those people. And one of those saints that does this is dealing with some medical issues right now that are pretty intense. And so how we can help is this. Every Wednesday, we are going to start a new initiative here. Every other Wednesday, we do meditation and discussion in the morning, and then every other Wednesday, we do it in the evening. We have decided that on Wednesdays, we are going to put together food lunches, dinners for these people, PB&J sandwiches with a fruit like a cutie or the mandarin oranges or apples or whatever we could get a bag of, whatever's BOGO at Publix or Winn-Dixie that we could buy during the week. We need peanut butter, we need jelly, we need bread. We don't need 7,000 loaves of bread that are going to go bad, but we need some things that we can start stockpiling here that are non-perishable items. And if you were moved to do, apples or oranges or something like that, we'll make that work as well. Little individual packages of cookies or crackers, something like that. On Wednesdays, a group of us are going to make up these packages. We're going to get them to Amy, and Amy is going to get them to the right people who will get them to the unhoused in our area so we can feed people every Wednesday. And because we're not necessarily in the right place to do that. The unhoused are generally near the circle. For them to get here would be a full day's walk. So if we want to help, we're not necessarily geographically located to do that. This is a prime way that we can help. As the initiative moves forward, we're also going to make little care packages with things like Tylenol, aspirin, feminine products, medicines, things that they might need, bandages, Neosporin, stuff like that. We'll add that to it. It will transform my holiday season. I don't know about you guys, but it will transform my holiday season to be a helper. Mr. Rogers said that his mom used to tell him whenever there's a crisis, whenever there's struggle, always look for the helpers because they're always there. What a difference our life would be, how different our life would be if our lens, we all wear a prescription for life, right? We've all got these glasses that tell us what's good and what's bad and how people are going to treat us and how we act. What if our prescription was that everywhere we went, we knew that there were helpers and we knew that there was the face and the activity of God and we looked for it everywhere we went? How would life change? How would life change? As Mike said last week, every activity begins in thought. So when we're thank empty, we might want to look around for things that give us information on where in life does it show up that sometimes things are one way and sometimes they're another. And this week, I got fascinated with fall leaves. and how the colors of the leaves change and they fall off the trees and they become so beautiful. And sometimes in our lives we experience loss. Relationships break. People pass away. Different things happen that leave us at times with a depleted tank of gratitude, and we need to think about how that tank authentically refills. These fall leaves, I love this analogy, this symbol of fall leaves, and I want to say the words right, so I'm going to bring my cheat sheet. So trees, some trees, not all of them, just the conscious cool trees, no. They go through a period in the fall where they lose their leaves. And there's this really cool thing that happens that reinforces us. We're not supposed to be on full all the time. Our expression of godness is going to be different on any given day. Some days, boy, I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I got this day. And I am all about being powerful and getting out there and helping people and doing stuff and being a wonderful human. And other days I wake up and I'm like, damn. I'm sorry, can I say that from here? Well, I already did. Whoops. Some days we wake up and it's like, oh, I'm just dragging. Getting through this life feels a little like molasses. Where is there purpose to this? There are times in our lives, we've got that lovely Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season, and yes, there is. Falling leaves are a beautiful, beautiful illustration. And I want to get the scientific words right, so I wanted to make sure I had this with me. So what happens is when the days get shorter and the temperatures get cooler, certain kinds of trees take that as an indicator. It's time to pull in. It's time to go inside a little bit more and take care in here so that we can blossom again in the spring. So if you're feeling thank empty, just know that you will be thankful again. Don't deny that you're feeling thank empty. Lean in and figure out what there is to learn in that opportunity of loss or in that opportunity of not feeling exactly stellar on that day. Your worth never changes. The amount of God that is around you and within you never changes. Our perception of it might change. Our ability to see it might change. And so we can use tools to help ourselves. So this lesson from the trees, I think, is especially beautiful. So when the days get shorter and the sunlight is less and less every day, what happens is within the leaves and the trees, this starting of a division happens between the leaf and the tree. And there is the hormones change in the trees. We women, I'm sorry, men do it too, you can't deny it. And we women understand being run inside these skin suits by hormones, right? We have changing things during every lunar cycle. There are signals that go off and things happen inside of our bodies and things shift. Same thing happens with these trees. So the tree goes, hey, all these leaves I'm holding, all of these, we humans could think, all these extra beliefs I'm holding, all of these crazy thoughts going through my head that are not serving me that I'm holding, maybe it's time to loosen my grip on them and let them go. And when that happens within a tree, the hormones change. They start to make less of the hormone auxin and more ethylene. And there's something that is formed between the leaf and the tree called an abscission layer. It starts to get ready to drop. The tree naturally does it. When this happens, the leaves stop making chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what makes leaves green. And so when it stops making the chlorophyll starts breaking down. When we, as humans in these skin suits, stop supporting beliefs that don't support us, they start to break down. There is a time and a place that we will be able to let them go if we stop supporting them. So the chlorophyll stops being made, and then inside the leaf, there's always yellows and oranges inside a leaf. You usually just can't see them because the chlorophyll blasts them out or drowns them out. Once that happens, then they reveal the chlorophyll breaks down, revealing yellow and orange carotenoids. There, I said it, carotenoids. You thought I wasn't going to say bad words on this stage today. No. And the carotenoids will make the leaves that beautiful orange and yellow. All this time when we're admiring these beautiful leaves, they're breaking down and preparing to end their time on the tree. Because what needs to happen in the fall, what needs to happen in the winter, is the tree needs to conserve its core. Much like we need to conserve our core as we go through life. And there are periods when our emotions get pushed, when our spiritual teachings get tested, when something happens to tell us, wait a minute, what's going on and why am I believing what I'm believing? The chlorophyll starts to break down and the colors underneath start to show. That when we get into these times in our lives, it's an opportunity for us to stand back and reflect and let those beliefs go. Or let our hold on those beliefs go. Much like the falling leaves, then the tree lets all of those leaves go. And see, this is the thing, when we let things like that go, when we move into times in our life where we're letting go of beliefs or activities or parts of our lives that aren't serving us, we create this void. Oh, nature abhors a vacuum. So do we. And so when we create this void inside of ourselves, that can bring us to a point of anxiety, to not knowing what goes beyond this. Use the falling leaves analogy if you get to that point and you're feeling a void. Because inside the tree, when all the leaves have dropped, when they are in that conservation state of conserving water, conserving energy, waiting for the new growth cycle, when that's happening, there's brand new leaves inside that tree just waiting. Just waiting for the signal that I have made it through the winter. The sun is returning. The warmth is returning. And now it's time to burst forth into new growth. So when those leaves are gone, when those trees are looking barren, just know that there's great and mighty work happening inside. And that happens with us as well. When you're feeling barren, when you are feeling less than, just know that inside of you, there is so much growth that can happen, so many new and wonderful things that can burst forth with just a little opportunity. If you'd like, I like my little tangible examples. I've got some fall leaves here for you. You are welcome to take 1 or 2 or 3 or 25 or 32 and bring them home with you. We have plenty more if those get depleted. Bring them home with you. Put them somewhere. Gift them to somebody. Let somebody else know that when this is happening in life, when you feel it's time to pull in a little, when you're questioning your beliefs and you're not sure where the future is going, allow that to fall away. Go inside. Know that God is there and build on the core beliefs that support you so that in the spring, it's time for new growth. Speaking of new growth, last thing I'm going to do today. Tina let you guys know last week, so we had the vote unity-wide. They had a meeting on Zoom. There were 1,020 attendees. Oh, I meant to bring the actual statistics, and I'm sorry I didn't do that today. But there were 92% voted in favor of bringing the two unity organizations together into one. 92% passed, and only 8-point-something% said no. And so we have decided to move into one unity. Now, that's an amazing... See, I've grown up through this, and about every 10 to 15 years, they would try this again and again and again. And Charles and Myrtle, I love you, wherever you are, hear me, and I want to shake you a little bit when you started an organization called Unity and then made it 2 different organizations. Because if we can't find unity in unity, how do we create unity in the world, right? And so they've tried and tried and tried about every 10 years to do this. I have been in conventions with 25-year tenured ministers screaming at each other about who was supposed to be the organization in charge and why, and people crying and storming out of rooms. And we have the people in place and the hearts that are open and the understanding of what our mission, vision, and values are as an organization to bring those 2 organizations together in one. And I wanted to read this in closing. As when they opened the meeting, Valerie Mansfield, which is the board of directors president for Unity headquarters, this is a statement from Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, from 1928. Unity as a religion does not claim to have discovered anything new. We have simply gathered and unified all that is good in many religions. We do not claim that we discovered any new truths, nor that we have any special revelation of truth. There is truth in every religion. It is my privilege to take the truth from any source, put it into my religion, and make it fundamental as a rule of action in my life. That is what Unity students do. We were talking about this before, Mike. 38 years ago, at that time, Mrs. Fillmore and I began this Unity work, and it was a very small beginning. We had studied various religions, but were not satisfied to accept any of them wholly. We said, there are so many religions, let us go ahead for ourselves. Let us do what we think is best and ask God to be with us and lead us and guide us. We began our work in one little room downtown, and it has grown gradually. We've studied many isms, many cults. People of every religion under the sun claim that we either belong to them or have borrowed the best part of our teachings from them. We have borrowed the best from all religions. That is the reason why we are Unity. The name Unity was revealed to us by Spirit. One day in one of our little meetings, I do not think we had more than a dozen in attendance, it was given to me like a flash. Your name is Unity. And there we adopted that name. Before that, we had called ourselves Practical Christians, New Thoughters. New Thoughters, I love that. In fact, we had called ourselves any old thing. We had just wandered about in the wilderness of isms. When we had adopted a definite name, a plan of work began to unfold, and we saw the great possibilities of unity. We were wobbly until the name Unity came, and that seemed to be the crystallizing idea in our minds. We found that we could group under the name Unity all the different religions and cults that we had thought out and worked out. In this way, we established the fundamentals of the doctrine called Unity, and now we get to live it forward as one united organization. And it's good. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Please visit www.unityofsebring.org for more information, to submit a prayer request, or to donate to our ministry. We hope to see you again very soon.